Good evening. Was driving back from outside of Pittsburgh, so I'm sorry I'm late. And I'll just give you a bit of history. So I'm EPA director and had spent for the last 3 years until recently worked for Governor Kasich on his policy staff. And this is one of these issues that we had worked on. And I'll just say up front, I know there's a lot of work going on at the site about this project. From an EPA perspective, we have not gotten an application from the company yet. So I'm going to talk more globally since I understand what they're trying to do, but let me just give you a little background. One of the ideas was we knew with all the oil and gas drilling activity, they're generating a significant amount of drill cuttings. And one thing we want to do is find a different outlet for that material and to be able to reuse some of that material in a safe way. So that was the general idea. Otherwise, that material would need to go, frankly, directly to landfill. If not, some of it could be left at the drilling site operation. So from that model, it was really a combination of agencies' work between Ohio EPA, Department of Natural Resources, and the Department of Health to come up with what we called a three-legged stool, if you will, on how to regulate this material. So there are a few concepts that we'll talk about. We've got the drill cuttings. Drill cuttings, if you drill on with water or on air, you just get pulverized rock material. And then there's some other material that you, when drill cuttings that may come in contact with what we call petroleum contaminated substance. It's the drill mud. So those are just the drill cuttings themselves. And then what you're mostly familiar with, you also hear about the flowback material or the fracturing fluid. That material that they use over and over again inside of the well process. So what we wanted to do is concentrate on the drill cuttings piece so that you could take that material, find a beneficial use for that rather than just having to put it in the landfill. So what we also make them do is test the material to see if it has elevated what we call either natural or technically enhanced radioactive material. So the norm or naturally occurring radioactive material is just ground up rock. It is what it is in terms of it's not been enhanced by the process. Technically enhanced materials like the drilling mud that they use time and time again, put it down the well, reuse it, put it down the well, reuse it. So we're trying to segregate out. So if you have what we're considering doing, and we've done it once before, and we've got the regulatory structure now that we passed in Senate Bill 59, was to allow drill cuttings, the drill cuttings alone, to be brought to a different location, have them tested, have them used for something in a beneficial situation, such as engineered fill, structural fill in an area. And I've got the authority to, if a company wants to do that, to have them submit information to me for our engineers and scientists to look at, to say for exactly the application they want to do, does it meet certain parameters? And then if it does, I can grant them an exemption from the requirement to dispose of it in the solid waste landfill. So the requirements that we make them look at is we have it's really dependent on the use. So if they want to take that and put it as engineered fill on a site, backfill, we'll ask for a certain number of scientific parameters to be looked at. If they want to use it for composting or they want to use it for other beneficial use, we'll ask them to do a whole different suite of testing. So it's really dependent on what the end product is, what they want to do with the material, will really dictate to us to use our authority to make sure that what they're planning to do is safe and protective, not only of human health, but the environment. So that's just from a high 30,000 foot view, the process that we put in place through the last budget process to put into place how we want to incentivize companies to safely take this material and not put it in a landfill, to find other beneficial and creative uses for the material, but at the same time, put enough safeguards around it so that I can be sure, and if you ask me, I can give you some high level of confidence that the material that they're going to be using is safe.